on the computer. Yep, we're gonna do the wizard. All right. So Jason, here, I'll tell you what. Let me get rid of this.
Have they seen my mustache?
I don't know if they have seen your mustache. Why don't you guys show them the stash?
Status. It's getting longer. I've been watering it.
Where? I'm sorry. Where's the mustache?
Prasko, okay, come on. Give me a little credit here, all right? This is as manly as I've ever been.
I'm trying to talk him into getting that spray that he can spray. You know, usually you spray up here. You can spray
mascara works really well if you want it to fill in.
I think that's my next step.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we were talking about the wizard, right?
You want me to get over?
Yeah. So let's talk about things, how we combat the wizard. So usually, you know, when someone gets to here, usually the other arm, my arm is around his back, right? And so forth. So the way you lock in the wizard, first thing is to put pressure on my shoulder, obviously. So all you gotta do is to turn the shoulder. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make in this position is they think they're gonna get the hip throw. So they try and keep their arm locked in here. The problem is it locks their shoulder, they're locking their shoulder in on themselves. So the simplest way, obviously you guys have probably seen this. So once he locks it in, okay, is just a simple, I'm just gonna limp arm and come out of it, right? But when I limp arm, my level's gotta change. I've gotta move out just a little bit, not into him, but just away from him this way. So I'm gonna limp out and then I can reattach my arm. Sorry, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so we're here. He's in, right? I'm trying to push in. He's turning his shoulder, which locks my arm in. So now for me to do it is to move out with my left foot and limp arm, and then I'm automatically going to replace my hand to the lapel. Okay? The reason that I do that is because I want to try and, if I just go away from him, that means I've got to restart. So when I limp arm here, coming out here, I automatically will replace it here, and then I can start attacking off that. So that's one thing when you talk about gripping and grip fighting sequences. Once you get off something, I don't want to get to here and try and come back this way because he's still got a hold of me here, right? I'm going to try and limp arm here, come this way, and try and put my hand back and push him off and break his balance. Okay? Now, when I do replace my hand, remember, it's not down here on the chest or below. It's going to be up on the shoulder top. So here, right, he comes over, he locks me in. We're trying to fight for it. I need to get out. Let's say maybe he gets my lapel here. I need to limp out, get out, and replace my hand right into the gripping sequence, and then I keep this arm back. Okay? Does that make sense? Good? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's talk about the second option. So that's one. But let's say that you get that guy, right? Let's say I get into here, right? He's around my back, and I've got him locked in. And a lot of times when guys will try and limp arm, the person on top, they just drop on him, right? So they can't limp arm, right? So they block the limp arm. So let's talk about what happens next. So he gets in here, right? Let's say that I go to drop, right? And I can't get that arm out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm simply gonna back step. I'm gonna back step, turn this way, all right? I'm gonna back step this way, and I'm gonna pull him into me, and then I'm gonna come over the top here, over the shoulder. And you can see my hands here. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get his head down, okay? In order to break that, I wanna try and get that head down and get my hands up over the top of him. And I'm grabbing my wrist, and I'm pulling my hand into him, okay? So he gets it again, okay? I'm locked in. I try to limp arm. He drops on me. I'm gonna step back, pull it down, and I come right into here, okay? So you guys can see my hand is locked here. When I drop, I'm not leaving my hand here. I'm bringing it over. I'm trying to bring it to the shoulder and pulling him down this way. Okay? I want to get his head down. Okay? So I'm here. Okay? I'm trying to limp arm. He blocks me by dropping and turning that shoulder. His shoulder's dipping now when he drops. So I step out, pull that shoulder in, and I'm down. And I'm right. I usually go right into my key lock for different things from here. Questions on that at all? Pretty.
I got one, Brian.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say he doesn't grab the lapel. Let's say maybe he just comes here and he's got like maybe he's just gable gripping here. I don't know why you would do that, but I could see somebody maybe trying to
a lot of times what they'll do is they'll try and force that arm through, just try and push it through.
To try and make
for that.
But for that to work, I got to be a little bit more square.
When you do it, so if we're here, right, and you're around my back, I got to come. In order for me to turn it in, turn your shoulder, I've got to come above the elbow and I got to pull it this way. It's pretty simple.
So would the same thing apply if they had like a gable grip versus reaching through and grabbing here if they're like.
The simple thing here is what I tell people is if you stay here, let's go back just a little bit. If you stay here, it's a problem, right? Then that's when you're in trouble. But the moment that I move my body, it changes the dynamic. Now, if I stay here, I definitely am not going to move this way, right? So all I'm going to do is I will grab the gi and I pull him in this way. Okay. So now try to bring your arm through. Try to bring it through. Here. And then I start coming out. Then I just circle my body away. The reality is I need anchors, right? I need anchors. So if you've got me here and you're trying, go ahead and put it on. I'll immediately come here. And maybe what I try to do here, if I can't go this way, then I shoot my arm through a little bit more. Sorry. What you didn't see is in order for him to do it, he's got to have my arm kind of shallow here. I'll come here, and if I can't pull it this way, I'll step and I'll push my arm and I raise it up here and try and get it up the back a little bit more. And I try to push into them and crowd him, because remember, in order to do that, he wants that turn here to be able to do it. I push into him. I can come here, create motion. He can come here. He's got me here. I can come here. I can push up, raise into it, and then I can move and start working for that shoulder as well. Again, make sense? Okay. The other one that you want to look for too is once you get to here, and if he's in, a lot of guys, they're not sure they're how their body should be. If they duck their head with anything, if they duck their head, simply putting pressure on the head, try and get the head down as much as you can. I'll use my elbow. So if he's here, right, and he ducks his head a little bit, I'll come here and use my elbow and try and put pressure down that way. As long as I'm putting pressure on the head and I get it down, I'm going to be okay. Make sense on those? Any questions so far with those? And those are just ways that I defend that if I get caught into it. The reality is just replacing your hands are a big one, right? So if I know I'm here and he comes around, just simply coming out and coming right back and putting pressure here, so you can kind of see it. So he's here, right? If I know that he's before he locks it in, he's coming, I can grab the sleeve and slip out and push, right? So right here, he's here. Let's say I'll come right here, right? Before he locks it in, I push here, and then I shoot my hand right back to here and start putting pressure on that shoulder. Sorry, I know I'm cutting my head off here. We good there? Any questions on that? No? Okay, good. So let's talk about throws that you can do off the whizzer. So when I get the whizzer, a lot of times, sometimes I'll come here depending on what's going on. But obviously I come across the way and I pull this into me. I don't turn my shoulder where my arm's extended. I pull it into me and then I turn my shoulder. So I don't want to do this. This is a big mistake that a lot of people make is they turn this and they've got all this space and he'll be able to move a little. Yeah, see, he's got a little bit of movement there. So when I do it and I get to here, I'm trying to crowd it in tight and then I can turn my body. I like to do a Taitoshi from here, but I do two different ones, right? So if his legs are together and close here, okay, I'm going to shoot all the way across. So I don't even have to have this arm. Having this arm is great, but sometimes it doesn't really matter with this throw. So what I'm going to do is I do a half step. So I don't step all the way back here, right? I'm going to take a half step back, right to where I'm almost even with his foot. And I come down with the shoulder. So half step down, and then I'm shooting my foot across this way.
Am I going that way?
Yep, you're going to come this way, boom. And I'm straight down, okay? So when you see my feet, I'm here. I half step, and I'm turning my hip. I'm stepping in and turning my butt cheek into them. And then I'm popping. You can see I'm on my toe here, so I'm popping here.
And you were between my legs there.
Nope, I was on the outside of
over here.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So I'm here, right? And this is if he's got his feet close, right? So I come here, I'm putting pressure on that shoulder, right? I come here, half step. Here, I'm reaching in and turning this hip. So in, turn, boom, and then I'm down.
With your left hand, you're just keeping pressure on his head, right?
Okay, I was going to put the left hand in just a second.
Okay, all right.
I'll show you what I do. A couple different things with the left hand, depending on how they're, what they're doing. But the biggest thing about the arm, Jason, come right here real quick. The biggest thing about this arm when I do it, as you can see, I'm pulling this in tight. I pull him in this way, and then I turn my shoulder. I don't want any space here. I got to get this. And I don't really care with this. He can get all the way here if he wants. The reality is it just makes my arm a little bit tighter in there to be able to get better torque. It's going to help me get better torque by doing it. So if you get into that wizard position, you can come here. Like if, let's say I'm here and I can't get my hand, you can grab this and feed it in. Simplest way to do it. Grab, feed, pull it in tight, and then go from there. Okay, so let's talk about the left hand. Okay, so let's say he's around my back. I get to here, I'm tight. Okay, let's say he won't give me that arm. Let's say I want that arm, I won't get it. Now I'm not gonna reach because then he's gonna grab my arm and yeah, now look, I'm in trouble, right? So I need to play the kind of the chess game, right? So I'll come here, okay, I lock it up. He won't give me that arm, okay? I got a couple options. I can one, dip his head here, but I really like to come this way as I do it this way. Come to the back side of the head, and I'm just pulling the head around. So I use that to help me torque him around. That makes sense? But the way to make sure the biggest piece here is don't turn your body and then try to grab. As you turn, you've got to be coming to that head this way. See how I just pulled him in? Now when I turn here, boom, he's down. Okay, I've got to keep him in close to be able to get to the back side of that head to pull him around. Make sense for that one? Yep.
Can you do that once
Chris.
more?
What's that?
Can you run through that once more? Just see it again.
Yep. Okay.
What did I do to Prosper?
Man, this is an easy fall.
He's mad about my mustache.
What mustache?
Get it in tight, right? Okay. He's not letting me have that arm. He's keeping it away from me. So I'm going to come here. As I step back, I'm coming right to the head. Here, I'm pulling the head in, grabbing on the back and pulling the head around. So here, boom, boom. and I flew over on that one.
And so before you were like coming across on the near side of his head, right? And kind of keeping pressure on that. But here you're coming on the far side and pulling him around.
Yeah,
right?
it's two things. The near side, right? The near side is let's say he's playing back and his head's just down. I may just want to pull him down this way.
Okay.
Right? I mean, so you've got just an option there if you can't get the throw. I mean, the reality is getting him down, working to the back, pushing that. The reality is how you get him down is how you get him down, right?
Right. Great. Thank you.
So that's two things. His head is really far down. You can come to the near side, right? And just step back and pull him down. The other one is if they're playing with that arm back, I can come around the head, pull the head into me, and use it as a torquing mechanism for that. Make sense? Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about, and then obviously we have the one with the sleeve, right? So if we come here, right, we pull it in. Let's say I have his sleeve, right? I have his sleeve here. When I do the sleeve, here's the one thing a lot of people, they try and make this the sole focus. Remember, any type of throw, especially a forward throw, you've got to have the kazushi, the off balance. See, this is what I want. So as I pull, as I turn, is going to help him to move. So now I can come across this way, and then I'm back into where I need to be. It's this. It's not this. It's not this into me. It's pulling him out so he's moving forward. Make sense? Now, I team that with my body as it's torquing in. So if I'm here, boom, right? I'm here. Okay, I'm gonna pull. As I pull, I start my rotation. Pull, start my rotation. Pull, start my rotation. Yep. Right? So it's here, rotate hip. Here, rotate hip. Okay? Questions. Remember, it's reading the watch, right? So you're pulling it out. If you're pulling this way, you're only going to be able to go so far, right? I need to continue here. This is what I'm looking for. That paired with my body torque will knock his balance off completely. Questions around it? All right, so let's talk about if they have a very wide stance with their feet. Sound good? Okay, so let's say I'm here, right? I get in, okay? And let's say he's really wide or that foot's really far back. Okay, I'm obviously not going to reach for it because then he's going to pick my leg and take me back or take me down, whatever it is, right? So I'm going to take out his inside leg here. Okay, so let's talk about from here, right? So without the hands, so I'm going to rotate, I'm going to torque here, rotate my foot, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a toshi, the inside leg. Right here, 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 boom. Same thing. I'm just, with this one, I'm looking at just trying to knock him down. Okay, now what you'll see is if you have a good enough amount of torque here, he'll still pop, right? He'll still flow and he'll still knock himself over, right? You got a question, Chris? No? Okay, good.
Is that the same, Ryan, as like is this?
Nope, nope, that's Uchimata. It's Uchimata, it's this Uchimata, you're raising the leg.
Okay.
This one is just, I'm stable. Same thing as what I did here with the hip, right? I'm doing it here to the inside. And I'm popping that leg out and the torque of my body is bringing you around. The problem with Uchimata, guys, is that when you commit to the Uchimata, you're committed. And there's not a lot of places to go from there. So it's, you know, so you're a one-shot wonder in a lot of ways, unless you're that guy that's so agile or flexible, they're able to really pick the leg, or they're able to drop their leg and come back with something else, and so forth. Sorry, my partner got a call. So, so with this one, right? So we're here, right? I'm trapped in. Where the first one is, I came here and I came all the way across. This one, I come here and I'm coming in at an angle. So where one comes this way in the torque, the first one goes outside across the feet torque. This one is coming here with the torque. So it's just the inside of the leg there. Questions? And then you can also use the same things apply. When I do it for the inside, I'm using a little bit more hip torque and a little bit more power because I'm literally just trying to slam him down, right? I'm literally just trying to get him down so I can work into something else. Or I'm trying to make him move off of that, where maybe I can come in with a leg grab or a single or something like that. But if I can pop him down, I'm going to pop him down.
As you're popping him, are you bending at the waist at all to try to drop his level?
Not really, man. Well, I would say that I'm leaning forward just a little bit. I'm not bending. I'm just leaning to put that constant pressure on the shoulder that we do from the wizard, right? I'm turning this way and leaning forward a little bit. So as I come, I'm here. I come here, here. And then that torque is what will do it. I don't bend over a lot, because when you bend over, you lose a lot of torquing power. If I'm here and I'm trying to bend torque, I'm not going to get torque. But if I'm here, right, and I come this way, and I go boom, then I've got a lot of torque, and I've got easy ways to follow up, snap down here, you know, move into the on belly and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay. How are we doing on time? Where are we at? What time is it?
I gotta go.
You gotta go. So my partner's gotta go. So so tell you what, we'll cut it off today. I know that was short. I'll film this and send it to you guys as well, so you guys can review it and look back over it. I've got the video here recording. So, and then I'll add on to this more next week. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
fellas.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah, sorry, Brian.
No,